When I was a kid, there were horoscopes in the newspaper. So they were like little sun sign horoscopes that would say things like, you're gonna meet an influential person today or something. And all of the adults in my life read these. They always. I also always knew that they didn't really think astrology was real. It was fun to read the horoscopes, but it wasn't real. When I was in high school, when I was a teenager, there was a used bookstore that was within walking distance of my house, and I really credit that store for so much of my becoming who I am, really, because I would go down there. It was just packed with paperbacks, and I would spend hours in there, and you could get paperbacks for like 25 cents or 50 cents. And I used that store the way that someone might use a library. I would just go through all of these stacks of books and find just different topics that interested me, counterculture fiction, but just a lot of paranormal stuff and spiritual stuff. That's where I first started finding out about Edgar Cayce. That's where I got my first copy of Shirley MacLaine's Out on a Limb. That's where I got my first copy of the little paperback book about how to read the tarot. And I remember I got Linda Goodman's Sun Signs there. And that was the first time that I really started to understand that astrology was not a joke, that it wasn't those little sun sign horoscopes in the newspaper, that astrology was actually this very real system, this sort of map that was a language for talking about our lives and creation and the way that this world works and the energies that we are moving with. So we are approaching now the full moon in Scorpio, which happens on Monday. Full moon energies reach out about a week before and a week after. So we'll start to feel those influences in that time span. You maybe have heard people say that this is a really powerful moon. The energies are big. There's big potential in using or implementing these energies in our lives. And I have to say that feels very true to me. These energies feel big. And I have already started to see this full moon expressing itself in the circumstances of my life. Here we are, all of us, over a year into this pandemic. I think that everyone is different and everyone responds to this type of stress differently, but I would imagine that any person who is watching this right now has been impacted by this pandemic in one way or another. We're all in this energy of grief. This has represented loss. It has brought loss to all of us. It has brought stress. It has brought an underlying concern. And with all of that, just that alone, just the pandemic itself and the changes brought about by the pandemic wore me down, caused me to feel very exhausted, fatigued, frayed around the edges, worn thin, as I'm sure it did for you as well. And then on a personal level, Tracy and I, in our families, in our life, experienced a lot of things that were difficult, things that were painful, sudden shifts, sudden loss. My meditation practice is fundamental to my well-being. I like sitting in silent meditation. Some people like other methods. They don't like to sit in silence. I love that. I have a very active third eye. Envisioning, visualization, imagination, that's all really strong for me. For me, when I sit in meditation, when I close my eyes and start to breathe and I'm tapping in, I start to see things almost immediately. Visions just come. So it is nourishing to me, and it is interesting to me, and it is a way that I glean information. Lately, this past week, when I sit in the morning to do my meditation, what I actually do is just cry and wonder if I'm dying. I'm not joking. That is actually not hyperbole. That is the truth. What this full moon has been bringing up for me, it has stopped me in my tracks. It has illuminated everything, every crevice of my life, of my psychology, everything. It has caused me in some ways to feel like I am malfunctioning, like I have broken down on the side of the road. I have to wait for the divine AAA to come and pull me out of the ditch. Things that I have put on the back burner, ignored, coped with for years, I can no longer bring those things forward. What I feel like personally is stuck. I feel like I am stuck, and I don't know how. I know what isn't working. I know the things that have to be left so that I can move forward, but I don't know how to move forward. This is a moment for me of complete surrender and trust and honesty. Difficult as it has been, it has also been good because illumination is good, right? Like, it's good to say, hey, here's a thing that I've been doing maybe my whole life that doesn't work. I think that we can actually use this big energy, this big power of this moon to redirect, to assess, and while we might be feeling a lot of death in the moment, the thing that comes after death is rebirth. That's the cycle that we're always in, and that's good. What is not difficult for me is posting my little energy prayers to TikTok and Instagram, where I'm just like flowing energy for you, for me, and for you. So, full moon in Scorpio. So I see things when I meditate. I see things. And so I was meditating about this full moon and just, what the energies of right now, what does this look like? What are their messages here? And I'm going to share with you, what came through for me. I saw a red barn out in a field. I have no idea what this means. I saw a large golden bell, like a bell that you would ring. I had this image of earth, like dirt in a garden that had been tilled, really rich soil, and I was running my fingers through the soil like this, and it was running through my fingers. And I also saw a boat, like a canoe. Now, anytime I see the color red, I do think about the root chakra and grounding, being connected to the physical. This image of the red barn, it was like out in a field, like I was driving by and it was out in this field. The golden bell is interesting because bell is an image that comes up for me a lot in meditation and in when I'm, hearing guidance, or if I'm journaling. The golden is, I associate gold with the crown chakra and with the divine connection. And to me, like a bell ringing is like, that's a message, that's a guidepost, right? Like, oh, it's time for something, or here's your aha moment, or follow this signal, follow this sign, the bell that calls you forward. The little boat, now I don't go into boats very often. I love water, I'm very connected to water. I like to meditate next to water, but I'm not really big into boating. But there is a meditation that I used to do when I was seeing Reiki clients. I would often guide my clients on a meditation where I would have them sit in a boat that looked like a little canoe and lie back and in very comfortable position, and then allow this boat to float off from the shore and float down a river. And it was a really healing and beautiful meditation. And so that's the first thing that that the boat made me think of, actually, was energy work and energy clearing and envisioning into the future. But also, I mean, the thing about being in a boat is you're not steering the boat. Like if you're lying back on pillows in the boat and the boat is being carried by the current of the water. So I think there is a message there about letting go and letting the flow, letting the current carry you rather than having to figure everything out. So that's where I am right now in the studio. That's my studio status. And if you are interested in receiving these little energy prayers, then please follow me on Instagram. I post them in Instagram Reels in that. And hopefully my normal creative living diaries will be back soon here on YouTube. It is something I really very much want to do to grow this channel. So if you feel so called, hitting like on this video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video, anything like that you can do would help me a lot, and I really appreciate it. You can come to my website, which is Lori-Lyn and subscribe to my newsletter. I don't send it very often. I say that I send it once a week. That's my intention, but I really don't send it unless I feel like I have something of value to share with you. But when you subscribe, you do get a coupon code for 20% off of a personal prayer painting. Thank you for being here, and I love you. And I hope that this moon treats you well and that you are able to work with these really big energies and flow into the next phase of your life. And I'll see you when we get there.